Am I? Is this real? Or has insensate madness claimed me? Paxaltag, I have not tasted air unmixed with the foul humors of the tango in an age's age, nor dared I dream that I ever might again, much less feel the soft touch of good soil beneath my hooves, or the kiss of the wind on my free fur. Faithless, faithless have I been, and yet Paxaltec came, with war in its right hand, and temperance in its left. The Paxaltec came, and I am saved. Two-handed warrior, it has my allegiance, whatever may come. Paxaltec have a gift for death, this much is true, but they are not all destroyers. Perhaps if it fights with us, perhaps the root may yet be crushed under the wheel of time. Take this, though it be a relic of we lamer, stewards of death. Wield it in defense of life. I think I shall linger here a while yet. Many are those who fell on these blood-soaked steps. No, some are now naught but bones. They each deserve the funerary rites of royalty. These I shall endeavor to complete with whatever time is left to me. If its road should ever wind this way again, grace me with a visit. There are yet tales of Yesha, I might tell it, if it cares to hear them shared. On the contrary, it has been... how I gloried in that title. A funeral, one who for many, but if life could be, this was the province of... But let us start at the beginning. Would it hear the history of the pan? In the time before, it is said that there and yielded only the cries of the bereft. With his flock drowning in woe, the leader of the pan held forth a great decree. 100 ships were built to hold 10,000 souls, with their god of many faces cutting the waves before them. The pan that were ventured across the Vilgmarza, the dark sea, through the long night. The vaunts prayed and the red widows wept, for no one 100 days lit the 100 bath. On the 101st day, as the red widow in the foremost, singing, "Glory," Yesha rose like the dog. The king who was, him known to the pan, quick of blade was he in his youth. But the exploits of youth brought Colket no peace in age. They say he took the plague as fate's judgment against his warlike eye. Fate offered a choice: flee the land of his fathers, or end his line as the king of death. Colket hesitated no more in pilgrimage than he had in war. He sailed from the place that was with the past in peace before the crossing's end. Greeting death, the god of many faces had been with the pan since the place. None speak of a time before its guardianship. It was a god one could visit, a god one could touch. Its ways were not known. More would I have it here of this, for in those days there was no empress, there were no queens. Colket the wise passed on the dark sea. It was only agreed that the vaunts spoke for the many-faced one, and the red, it had been ever thus. For 80 days, the vaunt, they prayed for a sign that on the 80th day, where it walked, The soil gave forth flowers, and but behind the doe came another, a wolf with fur as lightless as the obsidian. Surely this great, yet desperate were these threadbare priests of old, and of these visions to their charges, these vaunts spoke only one. And why not? The doe feels all who glimpse it. It leaps among the There are those, the carp, may her spirit roam. Those who glimpse the doe often glimpse the wolf, for the latter seems, a simple deception, but a far-reaching one. What must it be to spend an eternity? For the wolf and the doe have often met, antler and tooth. The doe may spill the wolf's blood, and the wolf may taste the doe's flesh, but Yesha itself forbids it. They say with the assurance of the vaunts, the Pan took to Yesha and were born. One such she was but fifth, as Genus, and it was the red. But Genus's malady was known to the widow mother, to her, to the elder Pan. It seemed Genus was shunned, cast out into the jungle, and her none among them could have foreseen. Plague-ridden and scorned, the red widow Genus had been cast into the jungle. After many days in the jungle, the Pan were humbled, for all signs of plague had been lifted from the young Genus, replaced by fascinated. All assembled to hear. Genus spoke of a vision that had come upon her. As she lay in the moss, gasped. Pan, young and old, wailed and keened and spat their life. But then, when all seemed lost, a great tree, this tree, the Thane, she named it, gave all who ate of it a life on. The Pan embraced it, and Genus rose to power on this. A spire built of words. By spreading her message of doom and salvation. The Red Widows were easy converts, inclined to believe their sister, and eager to spread her vision to all the path. In time, they held more sway than even the vaunts. Among the Red Widows, Genus was quickly elevated to widow. The jungle receded. It is difficult to say. Suffice to say, there is enough truth to her vision. And yet, in knowing her, I find it's many seasons passed, and Genus grew stooped and lied. In her 77th winter, Genus had another the Thane called to her, and she told her 500 Pan were assembled. Many imagined they would. Those that lived long enough came to now as young and beautiful as the day she first. She had been reborn a second time as an Empress Eternal. For years they searched the forest, battling hunger, storms, and beasts red of tooth and claw. 20 winters, many succumbed to death or to doubt. By the 21st, it was they, who no plague has touched the Pan since. But calamity wears faces nearly as numerous as our god of old. Unless I am much mistaken, the Empress lives yet, for no funerary if the Pan vanish from Yesha's soil, with death thus leashed, the eternal Genus and her immortals brought great ziggurats were hewn from the living rock, and at their feet Genus's prophecies all came about. save one. If only the Pan of that epoch, what of the great calamity? But none worried, save a few Vons. The old ways were dying, and the Emperor, no achievement seemed beyond their reach. It was then that the wolf came. But the story of Yesha is 49 immortals begat many more. And they traded favor with the Empress, traded years of light. They called it the Ravager, the very obsidian beast the Vons of old had glimpsed and hidden. It sprang from the jungle as sudden as a squall. It made no more than mutton of the bravest warrior. Fear fell like night across the empire. Death roamed Yesha. Ravenous death none could tame. There were those who would have seen the beast slain, but the Ravager was never much glimpsed that the red doe should not follow, and vice versa. The green things of the jungle sprang from the red doe's feet. But on what do green things grow if who knew what would become of the doe if the Ravager were felled? Who knew what would become of the Who knew what would become of the Thane tree? It was the twice humbled Vons who kept the empire from that, for the Vons had pondered the beast since it first. It was they who had learned to listen to Aethir's song. Balance returned, and the wheel of time, the song of all living things. It permeates our forest. It whispers in the leaves. Thrum. The Vons devote themselves to. They play it to tap its power, as other Pan might. Those attuned in prayer hear it strong. Even a Paxeltech. Who is to say? For that was hardly the last calamity to befall the Pan at with the Ravager appeased, the Empress dreamed of rule eternal. The Thane tree, that of the fruit. For many lifetimes her permanence hid this knowledge from all who served her. Slave and immortal, she had amassed a great store of fruit, and surely something could be done to save it. Why crack the very bedrock of her society? But the tree's decline could not be arrested. Fruit was rationed. Noble lineage, we lay mere, once prepared for the final death of death, only those immortals who had fallen in battle or now. We found ourselves winding wizened nobles in sap and muslin by the hundreds. Perhaps what came next was inevitable. Rebellion, insurrection, revolt. This was the fire that was to sweep through Yesha's jungle. For a life of lifetimes, the eternal Empress had hidden the decline of the Thane tree, but like the Vons of old, had underestimated the power of one young Genus herself failed to foresee the power of one called Navun. Navun was one of her eternity's own guards. I know only that she had no taste for the Empress's deceptions. Navun fled this ear. Her words found home in the ears of the gull. Yesha's slave caste. No slaves could hope, but what about a nobility in disarray? They rose, first singly, then in a tidal wave. The Empress found herself at war. Ever was Gina served by the Red Widows. She was still Widow Mother, is still, if such a... Some among the widow's ranks forswore tenderness, and became instead. Genus herself had been the lowest widow in her order. How fitting, then, that the last... It bridled when I called it God-murderer. Surprised I am that it should know so little of the deep track its kind have trekked across our soil. Let us walk those prints now. It has heard of Yeshan civil war, of slave with blade of hoe to neck of noble, and noble into that tempest walked one of its kind, Paxotech. I cannot say why, though perhaps it might someday, whatever its motive. Even as the pan turned their ravenous gaze toward the fruit of Immor, our god of many faces remained satisfied with the scant worship of the Vaughn. It was an ever-present comfort. A guardian with the destroyer, Paxotech. Oh yes, its kind. We knew not that it was the god of many faces, but in death, many faces' absence was soon felt. In her world, all great travelers spoke of twisted horrors on the road, but who knew that the very air could rip? That oh, how we fought. Our world's life most perished. I thought our tale told, our race run. I gave this is not, perhaps, Lash, the flying. I know not who forced it, only that, as sure as there is iron in the soil of Yesha, it was a pad-footed, perhaps as with Genus and the Voon. It has done me a Colket brought war. Its forebears brought the root. Take this now, as a token of my The pan must put their faith in action, and be I forever up to them.
That's it. For now. All right, let's do this. Yeah! This isn't looking good. Holy hell! Is that music?
To me, friend Paxultek. I am here. Friend Paxultek. It travel, but beware. Of course. Hear the wind, friend Paxultek. It sings to us all.